Alright, so for us to cut this collar, the neck wideness we are considering is what? A neck of 17. Alright, so this is our 17 here. The neck size for that shirt is 17, so this is our 17 here. So I'm starting from where I mark this line here. So this is 17, this is 17 here. Okay, so it's always good to draw your lines in two places so that you can get a straight line. Okay, so this is another 17 here. So I'm going to join these two dots together. See, I've joined them together. So after that, I'm going to check the wideness of the small collar. All right, you know, a shirt has two collar, the big part and the small part. So the wideness of the small part will be 1¼ inch wide. Okay, so it's just 1¼ inch wide. So I'm going to measure 1¼ inch wide here, and I'll mark it here. All right, I'll still come here and measure 1¼ inch wide, and I'll still mark it. I'll still use my long ruler to get a straight line. All right, so use my long ruler to get a straight line. So after getting my straight, the next thing I'm going to do now is to come in here by ½ inch. Okay, I'll come in here by ½ inch, but let's just use 0.6. I'll come in here. This is 0.6. If you start from 1 here, after half, the next mark here, that is 0.6. So we are using 0.6 because half is a bit too small. So we're using 0.6, or you can simply use 3/4, but let's use 0.6. We are using 0.6. We're using 0.6. So we'll come here, still mark the what? The 0.6. Alright. So this 0.6 is on this 0.6 now that we're going to cut our big collar. And so I'll still come here and mark the 0.6 so as to get a straight line. I'll still come here and mark my 0.6 so as to get a straight line. So you see, I've gotten my second straight line. Can we see that? I've gotten my second straight line. Alright. So the next I'm going to do now is the wideness of this big collar that I'm going to consider now. And the wideness of this big collar, I want it to be wideness of 2½ inches. So I'm starting from this line now to measure up by 2½ inches. I'm starting here to measure up by what? 2½ inches. Now at the center of the collar here, the center of the collar, let's get the center. This is 15, so the center should be 7 somewhere here. So at the center of the collar, I'm giving a wideness of 1½ inch. 1½ inch. Alright, 1½ inch. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to join this point to this point. Now there's no need joining this point to this point, but I'm joining so that by the time I shape the collar, you will see the shape come out very well. Alright, that's why I'm drawing this line, else I wouldn't have bothered myself to draw it. But now mind you, my shaping is what? This is my concern. Okay, this line is supposed to come this way, touch this point and come to this side. Alright, but I drew this so that we'll see the shaping when it's done. So you look at my French curve here. I'll keep my French curve like this. Can you see this? And I'll draw this line this way. Can you see how I got this? And I'll still keep it the same way, this way. Alright, and I'll still draw the same line. So we can see how obvious my shaping is. Can you see this? Can you see how obvious this is? This is the allowance I don't need. I'm cutting out. We can see how obvious how the curve is. Alright, and then down here, coming to this point, before we cut out, I'm going to remove 1/4 inch here, just quarter inch here. Alright, just 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch from the beginning point here, and I'll come in like about 3 inches. Alright, and I'll blend it, and I'll do what? I'll blend it in. Alright, I can as well do the same thing this side. As well do the same thing this side. 1/4 inch here. Alright. Come in by 3 inches. 3 inches. And I'll do what? I'll blend it. I'll blend it. So this is very simple, very simple. The next thing, even at this point here, you see this point here, I'm not going to blend it like this. No, I'm not just going to. I'm going to curve just the edge here. All right. If you want, you can still leave it to be sharp like that. You can see what I did here. It's just this edge here I touched small. I didn't curve here down like this. No, I just curved the edge here small. Also the same thing this side. All right. And as far as color is concerned, we are done. Just that for some, okay, let's just leave it at this. All right. So now cutting this collar, all right, mind you, this is the center of our collar. Cutting this, now that I'm cutting this collar, let me show something very crucial. When I'm cutting this collar, I can decide to now, before I even cut, you see there are different ways of shaping collar. All right, there are some collars that you can still mark from this line here. All right, you mark 1/2 inch inside. All right, and either shape it slanty like this, or you can mark outside and shape it to flare out like that. All right, it's actually a choice. You can choose to flare out your collar, you can choose to curve it in, or you can choose to allow it to be what? To be straight. All right, so for this one I'm allowing it to be straight. Hope that is taken, very important. All right, so like I was saying, these are the points I wanted to correct. You see how I curve it here, see the curve, see this place. This is the place I want you to correct. So now I'm going to show you something again, a trick to cutting this collar. Now after cutting this collar to the center here, all right, for me to get a very accurate shape, instead of cutting this one by itself, I'll just fold this, all right, and keep it this way, and then I'll do what? Then I'll cut. By this, I am very sure, much more sure, that my collar is going to have the same shape both sides. I'll fold it this way, and then I'll do what? Then I'll cut like this. So this guarantees a much more accurate shape than cutting it separate. This guarantees a much more accurate shape for your collar. This guarantees a much more accurate shape for your collar. All right. So you see, if I had cut it separately, you see, one side would have looked a little bit different because of the pen that I drew here. But you can see this is a very perfect shape. So the next thing for us to do is to go ahead to do what? To separate these two collars. All right. Separate it. And then we'll go ahead to gum it and join it to our shirt. All right. So this is simple and straightforward. Thank you.